this live stream.
Today we're talking about the Supreme Grand Champion and the Reserve Grand Champion. I will introduce you to the judges. On my right hand side, Clint Chang, Edwin Wigger, Dean Bridge, Jim Phillips, myself, Billy Geldernis, and Mike Harvey, and Harry Banks. Mike, can you talk us through the Grand Championship, the Grand Champion?
Yep. We're standing at the Grand Champion's pond. Hopefully in a minute you'll be able to pick up the Grand Champion as it comes around here. It's a beautiful kohaku. Here it is here. What we found so really extraordinary on this fish was the size of the head going through to the body in a beautiful, solid, straight line. Good heat quality, good white, shiroji. There was a small little issue with some fraying on the pectoral fins, but at a fish that's 82 centimeters, you are far more forgiving of little small issues that might arise. This fish, I believe, is bred by Momotaro, and it's really worthy of a Grand Champion. Anybody else want to talk about any issues? Dean, would you like to say anything? Is there...
As we look at a fish to judge these fish, I mean, we're just a bit off the topic, but we've got a reserve Grand Champion in the pond over here just behind us. So all of us come together right at the beginning of the show, and it's quite a big decision to get the Grand Champion and the reserve Grand Champion. We did right at the beginning of the show and select a whole lot of candidates, normally from size 9, the biggest fish. And we had about 4 or 5, it's quite a close call. So we had many deliberations between this pond and a few other ponds. So we look at the positives first, and as Marcus has pointed out, we start with the body. The body is most important in this big fish. And the quality, we look at quality is hang of important on koi. They basically are jewels, living jewels. So we're going to look at quality. You're never going to get absolute perfection, but this koi, this size, is very close to that. And in a two-coloured koi, we're looking at the two colours and the contrasts, and this koi has just got it in terms of that. And the quality on the he, which is what the red, the he is very good, and I think that enhances the other aspects of the koi, the white. The pattern draws your head all the way down, and but it was a very close call, I think, with the other kohaku. It was also a kohaku. There's different varieties of koi. But often it's the Gauteng, the kohaku. We've got a Sankey next to it there, which is a tri-coloured koi. The black sumi, we call it sumi. So there's a lot of koi that came into it, but we try and look at all the merits of the koi first and be positive when we're judging, and that's how we eventually, after much deliberation, I think really got to this as the Grand Champion. Close call.
And also what I like on the Grand Champion is the Kiwa and the Shachi. It's the quality of the he, the quality of the shiroji is the red, shiroji is the white, and also the Kiwa is from the back of the he to the front of the head, the Shachi is from the head to the back of the tail, Shachi. So it's very good on that fish. There's no overlapping. Jim, you want to say something?
Some of everything there. It's a remarkable fish, and it's quite an effort to grow a fish to this size. You've got to be a good koi keeper. You have to keep your water quality well and feed the right foods, and just to get a koi to this size is an achievement.
All right, shall we go to the Reserve Grand Champion?
Okay.
We're going to move to this vat over here.
Yes.
We need to just take the nets off. Sorry, can we just ask you to move back? I don't know if you will. Right, we're still live, eh?
So Mike, am I right now? What we're doing is just taking the net off, and just important, obviously, for no hands in the water and that kind of thing, for cross contamination and that kind of thing. Just for those that don't understand the show or have never been to a show.
Yeah. When anybody who touches the water, we always make sure that sterilizing liquid, so that there's no cross contamination between ponds. And
Yes.
it's a matter of making sure that the entrants are confident in us keeping their fish safe.
Yes.
So yes, we are, guys, we're going to talk about the Reserve Grand Champion, which is this Kahaku here. Billy, do you want to say anything to start off with?
Yes, Mike. Compared to the Grand Champion, we can look at the positives. There's more positives than the Supreme Grand Champion, the Reserve Grand Champion, but still it's a very, very good Kahaku in quality, body shape, all that. The shachi, as I said to you, is from the head to the tail, also from the white to the red. Is good, but not good as the Supreme Grand Champion. You say something?
Yeah, I think what Billy said is it was a very close call. Yes, there is a slight, I think a 5 centimeter difference between the Grand Champion and the Reserve Grand Champion, but it's not always just about size. It's also about all the other elements that we're judging on: body shape, quality, pattern, and state of finish. The heat quality obviously very good. Small little issues that, and they really are small, that distinguished between the Grand Champion and the Reserve Grand Champion. One which I hardly even want to mention, because on a fish this size is very, very acceptable, and that was just the one little key scale on the side there, but that wasn't the key factor. In the end, we felt the body shape was what was the determining factor between the Grand Champion and the Reserve Grand Champion. If you looked at the Grand Champion, the head shape going through to the body is an absolute straight, consistent line going right the way through. On this one, it is, you see a little bit more of a furrow by the gill plates there, and that was just something which we felt that one had a slightly better body shape, but still a magnificent fish. I'm not sure who the breeder is. Does anybody know? No. But that's my comments. Dean, have you got anything you would like to add?
I just think that between the two fish, both of these, we look at the patterns also, a smaller sense, more the quality in the body, Mark's pointing out all the positives. But generally in a fish like this, on the pattern side, which we haven't really spoken about all that much, we look at what we call Omoyo, Dan Moyo, which is big stepping stone type of a pattern. It doesn't have to be symmetrical, it can be asymmetrical, and it basically balances in its own way, in its own unique fashion down the koi. And then the colour, obviously we look right through the colour in each pattern marking, that the consistency and the depth of the colour quality is there. So it's very close between these two koi in that regards. And then the very fine points come into the equation to actually get the decision which one is slightly better than the other one on the day. And another day this could also have a better luster and finish. Koi also have to travel to these ponds where their owners have to bring them a long way, and they react to water conditions which have been very good here. We had extreme cold yesterday, which probably has enhanced all the colours. And yeah, this fish is probably possibly a bit younger than the other fish, so it's probably going to still grow a bit more potentially, and when it gets more bulk and body to be more impressive. just in terms of the overall body size, the sheer size of the koi in the pond. But it's very good quality fish. And anybody else want to comment on anything on it?
Yep, just perhaps, and again, this pattern is such a small thing, but 20% of the theoretical marks we would give. We would really, in the ideal kohaku, have what we call a dome, a white tail gap on the peduncle. But don't take that as something that you'll never buy a fish that unless it's got a bit of, it's something which we use maybe on a pattern just to slightly distinguish between them. You'll see there's the Grand Champion has a white adome, and this goes into the tail, but I hesitate to even point it out because it's something that we use just to, in the discussions. Ideally it would be like that, but still a magnificent pattern as well.
And as we judge, we'll work on a point system, and it's very close for me. It's 85 points to 80 points, so it's very, very close. So the fish is very close in points.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we judge a fish, we have a sort of theoretical marks to score, and the most important is the conformation or body shape. That's number one. That counts for about 40% of marks. So certainly when you're choosing a fish, it's important to choose one with a good body shape. For its size, it has to be in line with the size. You don't want a small fish which is too bulky. And both of these have a very good body shape. And so to distinguish them, some of these finer small points come into play.
Right, any questions on those? Otherwise I'd like to just make point something out. This fish is bred in South Africa. The Tancho kohaku, bred down on the Wild Coast Koi years back. And it took Best Non-Gasanki Award, which is the best fish on the show other than kohaku, Sankey, Shawa, Kingirin A and Tsuri. But I think it's worth a mention that South Africa is breeding some great koi. And the white, the D, beautiful.
D on the head or round his circle, so good. And the quality of that really in South Africa, very, very good. The body.
Yeah.
Body, very good body. Something else?
Anybody got any questions?
Could I just mention something with the Grand Champion?
Yeah.
The owner tells me it's actually a male. If it is a male, it's really exceptional to have a Supreme Grand Champion of that gender.
Yeah. If I talk to the company, the owner of the company that brought the fish in, WCB, he believes that it's more female than male. The fish isn't chasing females, but it's not developing eggs. So whether it's more female, but you know, in judging, we don't even know the sex to start off with, and it's irrelevant. We judge a fish on the day, whether it's male or female. And honestly, in Japan now, they're breeding some amazing male koi with huge bodies. And I mean, look at the body of the Tancho kohaku. It's a good body too. But whether it's male or female is irrelevant to us.
Mike, I also see that, with the deliberation between the Grand Champion and Reserve Champion, it shows you the quality of the competition
Absolutely.
that the hobbyists have brought to the table for you to judge.
Yeah. And there were other koi in the other ponds there that were in line for the discussion and debate. The quality of the koi here was very good, really good. And while I'm here, I'd like to congratulate the Gauteng chapter. They put on a superb show. After 2 years, there are a lot of new members. Martin Vermeulen's come on, and chairman. We've had other people, old hands like Mariana and Mary Harrison, Lee Oberholzer. They've done a superb job in putting and Chris Neves, putting it together, and I think they really do deserve the credit for doing something as fantastic as this.
Well organized.
Yeah.
Well, we just want to say thank you to the judges. Without judges, we don't get to this level. So the dedication and everything is just unbelievable, and we greatly appreciate it. All of us appreciate the integrity that you have, and also the expertise that you bring along for everyone else to learn from, and your willingness to share. That's the important thing, and that's what creates such a beautiful hobby.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
I'd also like to say a big thanks to our head judge, Willie Geldenhuys from Southern Cape, and he led us all and did a great job. Thanks, Willie.
Thank you.